for the love, so now I'm doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit.
Doing it for the love, so now I'm doing what I want.
I did it for the love of the shit.
Hip hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. Doing it for the love.
What's going on, everybody? It is the Sixers post-game reaction, man, and I am happy. I'm talking about I'm on a high horse. I've been talking trash. I've been in the Twitter. I've been doing everything, man. Like, how y'all feeling today, Dan, Al?
I feel great now. I had in my notes Bogdanovich's 3 with 2 minutes and change left was the backbreaker. And didn't you think that was how it was going to play out? And then, JoJo's 3 was amazing with 5 seconds left. Trying to
Al, what's up, man? How you feeling? How you feeling, big dog?
Good. Very, very good. I was a little annoyed at certain parts of the game. My grandson came downstairs. Why are you screaming like that? It's just certain parts. It was just a little annoying just off of certain things that they was doing and they didn't have to. But we'll get into that later. But I'm very happy. This was a huge win going into the All-Star break. Momentum, and we're still in first place.
Hey, man, to our Crawford, man, I'm feeling really good. I mean, he's saying all I can say is holy shit. I'm thinking the same thing. The whole time, the last couple of seconds, I try to keep hope until the very last minute. I play ball. I try to keep hope until the very last. So you never know what can happen. And when JoJo hits that 3 to send it to OT, Tony was a little behind me. So he had already put up we lost. So I had to come back and let him know, man, we didn't lose, man. We did it. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to let you guys know, man, I'm happy today. I don't even have too much negativity to say. I mean, I know they hit a lot of threes, but we're gonna do something a little different tonight. I did some research. So I'm gonna pull up some of the box stuff so we can look at the box scores compared from last time we played them to this time we played them.
Right.
Everybody see that? What's going on, Andre? So
Dre, what's good with you?
I'm gonna start with you, Dan. And
start with me.
I want you to look at the box score because we have the Sixers pulled up from the first time we played them, and we have the Sixers pulled up from tonight. This tonight's score, of course, is on the left. So, and then last time we played them. Look at the box score. What can you tell just from the box score about these two games?
Well, Embiid getting 40 points neutralized Simmons' need to get 42 points. Tobias was a beast in that game, but he was a beast in the overtime. He really came on when we needed him to. Danny Green, my namesake, was useless tonight and solid, very solid last game.
And this game.
Yeah. No, this game he had 3 points.
Yeah. Danny Green only had 3.
Oh, you're talking about Danny Green. I thought you said Howard. I'm sorry.
No. Oh, yeah, I didn't get to Dwight Howard, as I was telling you guys before the show, and it's not a brain surgery revelation here. He was a big time spark. I mean, his end of third into the fourth quarter energy was incredible. So he was consistent in both these games. And honestly, the negative part that we have to address is their perimeter defense, in particular guarding threes. Al.
I'm going to address that.
47.7%, 21 for 44. I know that's the Jazz's MO, but if you know it's their MO, you've got to address it, don't you, Al?
Absolutely. And that's part of what I was frustrated about, because you come in, all he did was pick and roll all night. And then offer the pick and roll, drive to the hoop, and then swing the ball. So what you have to do is you have to either come to that person that's offered the pick and roll has to step up, or show like you're going to step up. Because if you don't, they're just going to launch. And that's all that they kept doing. And I'm screaming at the TV. That's at the top of my list. Either show or come up. But you cannot play back. And they play back way too much. And that's why they kept hitting those threes. Because if you're not going to come up, then why not take the three? So it's too frustrating. It's just simple basketball. Now, from probably 2 minutes through the overtime, they did it the way they're supposed to do. They're supposed to show and then go back or act like they're going to show so you can hesitate on that shot. So why didn't you do that? The game could have been a lot easier if you just did that a lot more during the game. And unfortunately, we love him. He's hands down MVP. But I caught Embiid doing it a couple of times where he just laid back and let that person take that three. No, you can't do that, big dog. Not with this type of team. You can do that against a non-shooting team, but this team, that's all they're going to do is take it all day long. They're not even going to hesitate on that shot. If nobody shows shoot, this is basic math with them.
We're going to jump in some of these questions.
You're very echoey, Mr. Oracle.
I don't know what's going on with this thing. Let me turn it down.
I don't hear it on mine.
Yeah. We're gonna jump right into some of these questions, man. We got a lot of people coming. We got Andre saying the Sixers just told people to relax and enjoy the All-Star break. I've been saying that for weeks, but y'all don't want to listen. Y'all don't want to listen to the young guy.
Yes, you have.
This is the first time we've seen these guys really play like with the adversity. They come back from some adversity in this game and they play together. Let's see. You got next one is R. Crawford again. Nice to see Gobert remove himself from the defensive player of the year consideration tonight. I think me personally, that is my man, Ben Simmons. That's defensive player of the year.
Right, but I mean,
let me ask you. It's not even a conversation to me.
Well, let me ask you this, Al. Forget about Ben Simmons. It's a slam dunk right there. Is Gobert really better than Embiid defensively?
No. It's the way they funnel the defense. They funnel their defense so he can block shots like that and make deflections. And then they're so at a certain point in the time in the game, people start hesitating. And then when you hesitate, you get strips, you get blocks, and more stuff start happening. It's their defense that funnel. We don't play defense to funnel to Embiid. Embiid just catch people on the last second. That's why you see a lot of his shot blocking near the rim because he's knocking it away at the last second. We don't funnel it to him so he can get every shot, block everything, and do all of those type of things. It's just defensive wise, that's their system. So it makes him look a lot better than he really is. I watch him a lot. I have the channel to see all the games, the lead pass. I see all the games. He never really impresses me that much that everybody thinks, oh my God, he just blocks a couple shots here and there. He doesn't jump out on the defense like Embiid. Embiid can guard some power forwards and some small forwards. And according to the guard, he can jump out and do that sometimes. So he ain't doing that. You see Embiid took him off the dribble plenty of times, and there was no problem. And actually, that was another thing I was frustrated because he was shooting way too many jump shots against him in the first half, and I wanted him to pound them more like he did in the fourth quarter.
Right. And that's the thing that's always bothered me with the Gobert hype. I mean, technically, athleticism-wise, Rashawn Holmes and Jared Allen, they do similar stuff around the rim.
Right.
To me, a defensive player of the year has got to be an on-ball defender.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you can guard 1 through 5 like Ben can, it's not even a question.
It's not a question. So I'm gonna ponder this question. We got another one coming in. Embiid is the MVP. Has 5 games over 40+ points. Only one in the NBA. Wow, I can't wait to go to a game. And we talked about this the last time. Like, having fans and all this stuff and, how it's going to affect the games going forward. And tonight, what we saw was, like you said, it's a breath of relief to know that we can win a tight game against a good team. Not, one of these Rudy Poots that we just get behind on, but one of the teams that can really, really play. They got players that play their game. And listen, nobody makes Utah play a different game than what they're going to play. They're going to shoot a bunch of threes, because they feel like threes count more than twos, which they do if you know simple math.
Right.
They just doing that, and we had a hard time defending the three, which we've had a hard time defending the three all year.
Absolutely.
So now this is my question for you, Dan, because I know you're the analytical guy. You get really into it. I want to know.
Hold on, one quick. Tyler, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you checking in.
For sure,
Yes.
for sure. Tyler has another one actually. That's why I'm gonna go back to him. So Tyler says this. This is what a team should be. Everyone helps each other. No one is selfish on this team. That's why you love
Absolutely.
this team.
Absolutely.
Dan, what
Totally
do you
agree.
see in this team that we might be seeing now that we didn't see early in the year?
What do I see on the current Sixers team? Well, what I would like to hope is that our bench gets stronger. I mean, Shake had a great game the other night. I don't know. What were his stats tonight?
He had 12.
I think he had 12.
Korkmaz had a couple nice moments. Dwight Howard was like I said, an energy guy off the bench. So hopefully their bench is getting stronger. This might be a weird concern. And Al, you can help me out with this. And so could you, JD. Do you have any concerns when Doc goes up against elite coaches as well? Nurse?
Nah,
Quinn Snyder.
not like we used to. Like it was
Right.
blatantly obvious before.
Right. Brett Brown was a disgrace, but I mean,
Right.
he was awful. But I thought they should have made a few challenges in this game that I was shocked that he didn't. That's that sequence where
he's in this type of game. In this type of game, I think you should hold those because
this was at the end. And I don't even.
You're saying at the end?
Tell me. I don't. That was an absolute blatant palming that took place, and then
was it? I think it was a couple calls too that he just what you just looking like what
right. So I don't want to see Utah complaining about the officiating because the play where Mitchell was crying, he literally took 2 steps to walk into the corner to take that shot before he got fouled. Right. So I guess to get back to your question, what do I see differently? It's I don't really see anything differently. This team's been resilient all year. We talked about how many times we just referenced Brett Brown. How many times last year with this game have been lost? 10 times over last year.
Oh, for sure.
And the only games we really gave away this year were lack of interest games.
Absolutely.
They weren't intense games back and forth, and then we just blew it with a bad offensive sequence, not getting anything done off a timeout. The other team calling a timeout and getting an easy layup on us. So this team is a persistent team, and I think they're a team. I think the leadership of Danny Green, I think the leadership of Dwight Howard in the locker room. I'm not talking about skill set per se, but I think they have a nice voice in the locker room where they probably I think this team likes each other.
Absolutely.
And I didn't always get that feeling in the past.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to cut you off, but Vinny, man, thanks for checking in, Vinny. You're always one of our number one guys. He's always giving us stuff to talk about.
Love your movies, Vin. Love your movies.
Definitely love them. Hey, so he says that it's a nice win, but in reality, the Sixers won't beat this Jazz team in a 7-game series. The team needs more. And me personally,
I don't agree with that.
I don't either. And
I don't agree with that either. And I'm not worrying about them for a long time. If we can worry about that in June, let's worry about that in June because that's mean we'll be in the NBA Finals. So let's talk about that then. I'm not really worrying about the Jazz. I wanted to beat them because we lost to them last time without JoJo. That was the only thing I'm worrying about them. Now I won't see them again unless we get to the finals. So it's not that big of a deal right now.
That's very true.
What I was going to say to that is that I think tonight's game was supposed to be a measuring stick. It was supposed to be a measuring game to see how we measured up against one of the elite squads in the West. And I think we handled the challenge well. We had to get through some adversity to get there. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't one of those pretty wins where, you get up, They actually got down at one point by about almost 13 at one point, I think.
Right.
And they battled all the way back.
Oh,
They kept fighting. I'm not gonna say that they're not good enough to beat them because of what I just watched. And as we all know, this team hasn't been good the entire. They haven't been together and healthy, and everybody playing, and all parts have been moving. So this is like I've been saying before. That's why you can't sell the farm. You can't sell the farm yet because we just figured out what farm animals we got. You know what I'm saying? We just figured out how the chickens hang out with the roosters and how they getting down. Like, we just need to chill. Like,
which farm animal can defend a 3? That's what I want to know.
Well, they showed that they can. It's just that it's a mindset, I think, with the 3 ball. Because you have to hedge up. You have to legitimately hustle because the big man has to hedge, he has to show, and then he has to get back. So that's
any hesitation is a 3 right in the corner pocket.
Exactly.
All day long, especially against that type of team.
Yeah, but if it's not that type of game, it's the scat guard that's killing you. So we have some shoring up to do on our defense, despite the fact that Ben is a terrific defender. We've got weak links out there as well defensively.
I do want to address something that I'm sure all the fans were saying exactly like I was in certain parts of the first half, and the second half it did not. Where it more goes back to your point, Dan. Doc trusts the bench a little too much for me. That's just me. I think, and I tweeted this out to Heat Ratio Sports, by the way.
Okay.
At Heat Ratio Sports. I think you got to mix the starters in. We've been saying this all season. Mix the starters in a little bit with that bench.
Joe and Embiid cannot, right.
Right. And then in the first half, we got down and we wasn't scoring. And I'm screaming like, get either Ben or JoJo back in. But then on the other hand, then he proved me wrong because they held their own in the second half and did some nice things and stayed in the game and even got a lead. So a lot of us is probably complaining like, dude, get Ben back in there or get JoJo back in or put Tobias in with the bench. And then they showed out to make his point in the second half. So you can't say anything when they show themselves in the second half like that, because who would have thought first of all, when's the last time Dwight had 12? He might get 2, 3, he might get 8 here and there, but I think the last time he had 12 was in that Indiana game when JoJo wasn't playing and Cork had all those threes and we came back from like 20 plus down. So that's the last time I can remember that
Or the Utah
game had that much.
Or the Utah game recently.
Yeah, or the Utah game. But again, those are games that JoJo wasn't playing, not
right.
He's there
True.
in coming in as contributing.
Hey, so real quick. Go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, just to support Al's point, I wrote this down, and I was just before I was getting angry. I'm like, they're doing something though. They're doing something. I can't. They had Shake, Korkmaz, Scott, Thibault, and Howard out there at the same time.
Yep.
And I'm like, WTF.
I don't love that lineup.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what the bleep? I am a big proponent of JoJo or Ben always have to be on the court. There's no reason they have to go out together, come in together. And unless there's foul trouble involved, which there wasn't tonight, one of them has to be on the court. It makes Dan feel better.
But I guess that's why we haven't won a championship, and he has, and he's won so many basketball games. He's NBA head coach, and we're not.
Exactly. So. Listen, check this out. I've been wanting to say this for 2 weeks, and I was waiting to the perfect moment, and this is the JD Oracle moment of the night. I'm going to put it out there now. Wish I had my graphics. I would have threw it up.
Yeah, I was about to say you gotta have a graphic for that.
I got a graphic. This is not on this show. I gotta pull it out. Hey, so listen. To Vinny's point, Vinny and Tyler are having a very good discussion on here, and I like this. He's saying that the bench started to bring us back, and Vinny is saying, this is their Achilles heel. And I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody's taking into consideration that Doc might be doing something. These games don't really matter as much as the playoff games, and you have to get your experience sometime and somewhere. Why
Sure.
not get the experience against a team that is really good? Like
That's true.
now we can say, you know what? Well, against a really good team, we was able to leave our bench in to weather the storm and then just pull them right out.
Right.
Like they're not going to ever get better. They're not ever going to gain confidence if we keep pulling them, adding more starters until you just take you have no reserves. So when are they going to get better? If we don't play them now, they're not going to get better in the playoffs, so they're not going to see the floor.
It's true.
So in order to build some type of continuity with the bench, we have to let them play. And I'm gonna go to you, Dan, because I need to hear this from you, because I know you've had your reservations all year. You've had your reservations, and for good reason.
At which restaurant?
Huh?
At which restaurant?
Any of them. Do you order under Danny Green so they think that you're the famous Danny Green, or no?
I think I have more clout in this town than him because I've been around longer.
That's a good answer. Great.
But so what
so your reservations about what do you have reservations about? Is it about the bench? Is it about the way that we're subbing, or is it just a simple fact that you don't feel confident quite yet with the bench?
Wow.
Yes, all the above. See, and again, I always defer to Al, and if Andre was on the show and Al wasn't, I would defer to those guys because these guys, you guys know 20 times more than I do. But being a coach of other sports and stuff, and I know it's not professional sports, but Maxey didn't play a minute tonight, right? When you have teams that are killing you on a perimeter, why not dabble with a guy that's liquid mercury out there and see if he can at least, get around the picks and at least try to get in their face and play perimeter defense. I sometimes, and it goes back now, Al, during all these, granted, they took 44 threes tonight. I would have liked to have seen what the alignment looked like on a lot of these threes. Like who was on the court? Like slow-mo Joe Ingles had five threes. I think he was 4 for 5 on the threes. The man releases the ball. The time it takes me to leave the mall, get in my car, start the engine, back out of my spot, and get onto the highway. That's when the ball's released. So you can't tell me you can't defend slow-mo Joe Ingles. It's stuff like that my reservations are, look, we won a game. I'm thrilled. We have the best record in the East. I'm thrilled. I guess it's always good to be thrilled and then also see that the team has warts that need to be fixed.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I'd rather have warts that can be fixed with a positive record than if we were hovering around 500, because the same issues could easily be happening if we were a 500 club right now. We'd be like, we got to fix the perimeter defense. We got to get more consistent with bench play. We can't have Curry and Green have these horrific shooting nights from the perimeter. That's what they're here for.
Speaking of him.
So those are some of my concerns. And it goes back to what you guys have been saying, and I think Jamar and me are less involved with the desire to get a massive trade going here. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't want to give up the farm, or literally the farm with the animals that he referenced earlier.
The chicken.
Yeah. So Jamar, myself, and Scotty, I think, leaned more towards minor tweaks than because God forbid you get Lowry and you lose in the second round, and then you just gave up everything for a shot.
Right.
That's not a guaranteed shot. No. So, and I know that you gotta get the most out of JoJo's window, et cetera, but I still don't know with this Nets team, if Davis comes back, some of the other powerhouses in the West, if it's still our year. I mean, it's as good as chances we've had in a while, but I'm still not quite there yet. I don't know how you feel, Al.
I get what you're saying about the quickness to defend the pick and roll, but as you see from probably 3 quarters to the fourth quarter and overtime, they can do it when they do it. Not when they fall back and go ahead and take that. No, don't take that. Play defense like you're supposed to play. So when they're rolling off of that and that person is showing, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Seth coming off, Thibault coming off, Danny Green coming off, whoever is coming off, if you play where you're supposed to play off the pick and roll, it will be successful. If you don't, you get threes drained. It's pretty simple. Now, not many people in the East, except for Brooklyn, can hit those threes like that. If you do that to James Harden, he's going to drain threes all night long. All night long. So, and imagine you doing that on KD. Oh, stop it. Like, that's not even like, come on. If you do that on KD, he's going to have 60. So imagine Harden do it, and then he passes to KD, and then KD come off a couple, and he has 50. So that's where it's going to. So you know you can't do that in the playoffs. So I think it's more of a matter of want to and the effort more than who can do it better. That's just my opinion.
No, I absolutely agree. But I want to address Vinny here. Vinny, I clearly know that Joe Ingles wasn't dribbling in slow motion, stopped, and took a three. I'm quite aware of that. It kind of goes back to what Al was saying. We've got to be able to predict and have the foresight to see what Donovan's going to do,
Right.
And jump that pick and roll. So that I'm aware. I'm aware that Joe Ingles wasn't sitting on a lawn chair taking threes. He was, he was getting wide open looks because of great penetration and kick out. So I get that. So I'm not that much of a hockey guy. Come on now.
Hey, so this one for you, Al. So take Tyler's question right here, man. Embiid said he wanted to want me to defend a player of the year, not the MVP, but Ben is in the run for the defensive player of the year, not just the MVP. So Embiid wants to be the defensive player and the MVP.
There's nothing wrong with that, but if I'm him, I say this is my lane and this is my boy's lane, and I give Ben that, and I'm telling everybody, like, remember in the last probably month, he's been pumping up Tobias. If it's me, if I'm JoJo, I'm doing the same with Ben the rest of the year for defensive player of the year. And then in turn, if I'm Ben, I'm tweeting out, come on, stop it. It's JoJo for MVP. I wouldn't. That's his mindset every year. So you can't say this is out the clear blue sky. This is JoJo trying to be greedy or trying to not being a team player. Every year, his focus is to win a chip, obviously, win MVP, and be defensive player. This year, Ben has wanted to be MVP, wanted to be defensive player of the year. So you can't say that JoJo just came out the clear. He's always said that for the last couple of years that he's wanted to do both. Which, hey, you can't say that he can't. You just say, I want one person to stay in one lane and one person to stay in the other, just for team harmony and all that. Great competition because you're both doing your thing. But I would want to pump him. He pumps me, and then we both do our thing. And if we're 1-2 or one, say Ben's 1 and then B's 3 in defensive player, I'm good with that. I'm very good with that. I'm looking here. We had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 plus players tonight. 8 plus players. So that's very good. That's very, very, very good. And 3 of them were over 10.
Nice.
So that's very, very good.
But the key word in everything you just said is harmony. Ben more than JoJo, I think, has that fragile ego. So don't even ripple the waves, JoJo.
Right.
Just talk. Push your teammates like you did with Tobias. Now, no, this is Ben's year. He's been incredible.
Right.
Don't vie for something that could
Right.
cause disharmony in the locker
Right.
room. Just
Right.
he's been great.
you-
He's been great this year with his mouth being closed and his lack of tweets all over the place. Just be
Yes.
professional.
Right.
Let's not get carried away with how great you are every interview. Just let your play let your play show the world what don't let the court do your talking for you.
Well,
Not to mention, if you're taking votes away from Ben, that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. You want to try to get Ben as many votes up there as possible.
so real quick, so I'm gonna hit Vinny's question because it kind of transitions us to the next kind of topic we want to talk about. What's the biggest problem? That's the biggest problem with playing Brooklyn is that they made 4 and the most threes in the league. So listen, I get it. I just want to. I want to see where Utah is for threes made in the league because if they made 20 something tonight, they're number one.
Yeah,
we handled that pretty well tonight.
Not even close.
Yeah, we handled that pretty well tonight. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to see how we would play.
Wait, time out. What did we handle pretty well tonight?
We handled the game. We won the game. Like we handled the game.
But what part of the game did you just say we handled pretty well tonight?
When they wanted to play through the pick and roll, when they decided to strap in, they played well against the pick and roll in the end of the fourth, going into overtime.
They were it was a gutty, gritty, great shot by JoJo with 5 seconds left. But if that doesn't go home, we're talking about how we just got destroyed by 3-point shooting by the Jazz.
Right, but they destroyed everybody by 3-point shooting. Nobody stopped them yet.
Yeah, but that's a contradiction of what you just said, and I'm trying to be respectful.
I get it.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is when you are playing against a team that pick and rolls, you're not going to really stop the pick and roll. If they're shooting 3-pointers out the pick and roll, if they're making them, they're going to beat you. They eventually have to miss. That's the only way that they have to start missing.
Well, it was miss and better defense, more contested shots.
Yes.
So it's a combination of the two because the first half they was just getting open shots and just taking them at will, and that's not healthy. I probably say half of their 3-pointers in the first half were all wide open.
Right. Well, that adds to the point where I'm talking about the depth because you're wanting JoJo to come up and hedge that pick. He has to then get back on his man. Like he can't do that for 32 plus minutes.
Right.
So you have to give up some. Like you just gonna have to. When you need to strap up in tight minutes of the game, that's when the game constricts. Now that's playoff defense. And that's when the game constricts. And everybody's so worried about 3-point shooting when really, in all honesty, the game constricts in the playoff. It's not as much as that because everybody's playing defense, everybody's strapping up. Like we're talking about James Harden playing defense now. He's playing playoff defense now. And that's the difference. James Harden didn't play defense in the regular season. Now he is doing it, and that's what it looked like. So I get what Dan is saying. I know we didn't play a great game, but when we needed to get stops, they got stops, and they clawed their way back into that game using their defense.
They said they shot Brooklyn shot 17 to 35 tonight for 48% from the 3-point line. You can't let that happen. That's too high of a percentage. You got to get them low 40s to be able to beat them. You can't have them at 48%. That's way too high. They scored 132 tonight. Now I know it's Houston, but they scored 132 again, no KD. So you can't no matter what, you cannot let somebody shoot close to 50% from the 3-point line. That's just not healthy. Harden had 29 tonight. Another triple double, and Kyrie only had a little corny 24, and they still blew him out. So that's not a good thing. So that 3-point shooting, I get what you're saying. Like you can't play that all out guns, balls to the wall, as they say, defense the whole game. You got to pick your spots, and they did. In turn. Fourth quarter overtime, they did that, and those 3-pointers that was wide open there, they're not wide open, they're contested, and they're missing a lot more than they were making in the second half. I wish I had a first half, second half that I could see that and see what was the percentage in that first half and what was the percentage in that second half. And I bet it's probably like 46 in that first half and probably like 35 in the second half, somewhere around there. So so that's a huge difference when it was just draining. We get close and they drain 2 or 3 in a row, and then we're back down 12. And then they get close and then they drain 2 or 3, and so that's what was happening in that second half. I get what you're saying though.
But it also goes back to what Al said earlier. We can't really harp on this too much because this is not a team we have to go through to get to the finals.
Right.
The only other team, and they do it a different way, is the Nets.
Right.
I mean, Harden can just dribble up to your face, dance with the ball, take a step back, and he nails the 3.
Come on.
So I mean,
come on, Mitchell, you're better than that. You're better than that, Mitchell. You're better than that to blame the refs, dude. You're way better than that to blame the refs.
So our production team
don't whine about that. Huh?
They just threw us a video. I'm gonna throw this video up here. The production team. So we got a production team here at Heat Ratio. They just gave us a video to throw up. I'm gonna pop it up here right quick.
He's got Bogdanovich thinking about a 3. There it is. Yes! Wow!
That was sweet chin music.
I thought they was gonna put the video up when he bully ball and ran what's the name over and then dunked. That's what I thought he remember when what's the name fell on the ground and then he dunked it. That's what I thought he was to put down.
Al, I think I've when I was watching your show, your Sunday show, I often type in, how good would a Bogdanovich look on this team?
With the Ben driving kicks, oh my goodness,
that's the kind of stretch 4. He's like a more athletic, not defensively, but he's a more like offensive guy than an Ilyasova type.
Yes.
And I've always loved that guy, and that's why I like Gallinari too.
Actually, he didn't shoot a knot tonight.
Bogdanovich.
Yeah, let me see how many shots he took.
He hit at
Oh,
least
no, he did. He shot 15 times. It made it seem like he wasn't really shooting that much, but he shot 15 times tonight.
Yeah, what was this 3-point shot?
He shot 4 or 10 from the 3-point line.
40%. Yeah, so I mean, he was killing us but this is where
4 for 5.
Yeah, slow-mo Joe, I'm telling you. This is where he hurts you defensively, though. I mean, Toby was owning him in overtime, and then they had to switch and put O'Neal on him.
That goes to my key. Say, remember you asked me about Doc and his coaching? Yeah. He's seen Tobias, and they kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. I don't think Brent would have did so. Again, another thing that I don't think he would have noticed that he cannot stick him in the down low and don't shoot a jump shot, take it to the hoop strong every time. And he got actually 2 to 3 of those times. It should have been an and 1, and they didn't call it.
Right.
He just couldn't stop him. He's not a defensive player. He's just a jump shooter, and you got to take advantage of that. That's the type of things we're going to have to take advantage of in the playoffs. Those type of things.
And what we don't talk about much, and I'm not saying I know the answer to this question, but in all the shows that I watch with you, Al, Andre, Tony, Jamar, when you do it with Scotty, where do you guys feel Tobias ranks defensively? We don't really discuss that much.
What do you think, J-Day? I'll tell you what I think after.
So the thing that people don't really take in consideration is Tobias is extremely long. And when you're long and you're wiry, you can affect shots by really playing minimal defense because you don't have to be the great defender if you get your hand up. The worst penalty to commit in basketball is hand down, man down. And as long as Tobias gets a hand up, he can absorb some of the contact to his body. He can be a good defender. The problem on defense, though, and I know we don't talk about Tobias because the deficiency is really and they've been showing it for a couple weeks, is Curry. Curry is actually the deficiency on defense. So that's why we don't talk much about Tobias. But Tobias, I think he's probably on this team. He's probably around the fourth or fifth best defensive player we got on the team.
I don't mean it from that perspective. I mean it from, do you guys have confidence in him that he can control his man?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
And that's important. That's important because that's something that's never really discussed in his game.
Just from last year to this year, he was borderline awful the last couple of years. And I don't know if Doc talked to him. I don't know if he worked on it in the offseason, but you can see the difference between Tobias' defense last year and Tobias' defense this year. To your point, Vinny. He has changed. I have seen steals. I have seen him body people up and give that effort. I don't care if you had 3 or 4 fouls. That shows me effort, not just that you just getting fouls just to get fouls. He wasn't getting any fouls last year. They were just letting people score. So I like the difference in effort. Now, when you know you can win, when you know you got a coach that believes in you, when you know you're going to get the ball, when you know plays are getting ran for you, it gives you energy. You know, one of those things when you're playing in the street and you're not getting a rock, you might not get back on defense. Because y'all not even passing me the ball. Why should I get back on defense? So when you know you're getting the ball, when you know plays are ran for you, you have that extra energy, and he has that this year. And I want to make sure I say that because a lot of people was down on his defense last year, and he is definitely giving it everything he's got. He's not going to be Ben. Nobody's expecting him to, but to give the effort, I love it.
Hey, Dan,
that's what I was asking.
Hey, this one's to you, Dan. Do you think that Doc's version of Tobias is the same Doc's version of Tobias that was with the Clippers? Because I was hoping that we would get that Tobias back, the Clippers Tobias.
Well, there's a couple reasons why it can't be the same. That Clippers team didn't have the expectations that the Sixers team has. And that Clippers team didn't have the marquee players that the Sixers team has. So he knows his role in this team. And in fact, if you recall when he first came here, and almost Jimmy did the same thing at the beginning. It's almost like when they came here, they didn't want to step on any toes, and they almost played passive for a while. But I think if Doc tells these guys, you have the freedom to shoot. Don't stress. Don't worry about what your teammates think. If you've got the shot, take the shot. I've heard Al on countless shows say, shoot the ball. Like if a guy like Seth Curry, if you're open, shoot the ball. I don't care.
Did it again tonight. I was screaming at him, dude. He's still hesitating. Yeah. He's so annoying. Yeah. I don't understand what is his problem. Are you a Curry or not, dude? Like, what is going on sometimes? I want to rip the TV out like, dude, shoot. Like, he come off the bench. But one time he came on, I remember this exact play. He came down, he hit a 3. Ben got on the ball again, and he hesitated. Shoot it. You don't know. You might get hot. Dude, shoot the ball. I don't understand. Every game I say the same thing. I don't know what is the problem. Shoot the ball. Period.
Any spacing that he has. Shoot it. Unless it's time and place in the game where you got to work the shot clock a little bit.
Right.
But to get to Vinny's question, Curry's horrific defensively. However, in a game like this, you can't pull him because you need him in there to make the run. And he did hit a couple clutch threes.
You know what I was thinking a couple of times that he should have did it defense offensive. He normally does that with Thibault. This game, he decided to leave that alone. Yeah. I think he did that because some games you have the urge where you say you need more defense. And then certain games you say you need more offense. So I think this game he knew he needed a little bit more offense. So that's why he kept Curry on.
He actually had shake. He actually had a shake Thibault rotation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're spot on. That's actually what I was gonna say, Dan. That's spot on, like 100%. What I actually want to talk about is everybody's played pickup, whatever. If you play pickup soccer, pickup basketball, whatever you've played, you got the one guy he really can play, but his nerves mess him up. And I think Curry's nerves mess him up. I think he's so worried about missing or they're going to pick on him on defense that it's starting to affect him. And Al, you done play ball with somebody that did that. You know that they can shoot. Every time they get the ball, they hesitate. But as soon as they start letting it fly, they'll knock down 3 or 4 in a row. And you're like, why didn't you shoot the ball? And he'll be like, well, nobody told me to. Right. So I think it's to the point where they're going to have to encourage him to shoot the ball. I think Ben's going to have to start saying, Joel's going to have to start saying, you got to shoot. He's a shy shooter. And I don't remember him being that way in Dallas.
7 shots from your 2 guard is not enough. It's just not enough. I want Shake to come off the bench and shoot. So he shot 11 times a day tonight. But Steph only has 7 shots the whole game. Dude, come on, stop. And there's plenty. I've seen opportunities out there. He just chose not to. Or if he pump faked and then the defense came up on him, or that one little second that you hesitate, now the defense comes up closer to you and now you can't get your shot off. I don't know why. I'm very frustrated by him in this first half. Hopefully Doc talks to him in this, what we got, like 6 or 7 days off. And he just encouraged. I need everybody. You're right. You're right, JD. You got to get everybody. Ben, JoJo, Tobias, dude, shoot the ball. I'm okay with you missing because I want you to have that threat that they know that you can get hot and on one of those games that you drop 24 or drop 26 because you're on fire from the 3-point. All I want is that thought that can happen, and then they come out, and then Embiid ain't got opportunity. No opportunity for Embiid to get any double teams down there. I'm tired of talking about it, actually, because it shouldn't even be. You're a Curry, dude. Shoot the ball. Let it fly, as they say.
Well, could it be that his attempt to play defense is giving him a little fatigue on the offensive end?
Nah, not a shooter. A shooter never gets tired, dude. Not in shooting the ball.
Shooter.
Yeah, shooter, exactly.
Hey, so we got my girl Jenna checking in. Jenna, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. One of our other resident. She's a Boston fan, but I think she's actually a closeted Sixer fan. I think she's
never.
I think she's closeted.
No.
On my show, we say that anybody that you watch on a constant basis to talk trash, you're a closeted fan of that team.
She's being sarcastic, talking about get Howard more minutes.
Listen, the smiley faces give it away.
Not nice sarcasm there, Jenna.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what she said. You know why? Because we won. I don't care what she says tonight.
Howard was great tonight.
They had a good win last. I got to give them credit. I watched their whole Clippers game. They played a good game against the Clippers. So I will give you credit, Jenna. Your boys played good. I actually thought they were going to give that game away, even Kawhi Leonard didn't play. But you still won. So I'll give your team credit because
Tatum is the beast. Tatum is a beast.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna cover one more thing before we get off here, guys. So we're at the 48-minute mark. I wanted to get it, be about an hour. So listen. So I'm gonna go to you first, Al, and then you'll take it from there, Dan, because I know you like to try to act like you don't know basketball, Dan, but you do. So we had this conversation, and we've been having conversations about the moments as a Sixers fan, having big moments. Do you think that Joel Embiid is going to have another big buzzer beater like he did tonight to take it to overtime?
I would probably say yes, because I see it. I see it in him. You can see at certain times in the game, he's just taking over. I seen him. You seen him the one time go coast to coast with the ball. I seen him now. I'm starting to see him take it off the backboard and take it all the way down, put himself in the post, back him all the way down and lay it up. I'm seeing the one game that Ben didn't play and he scored 50. He just out the way. I'm going to handle this, and I'm not passing it. So I see those things. Even that play right there, I started to say, what are you doing? Because at first he started to back him down. Then he stepped back out and then just jade him right in his face. So I think I could see 3 more of those this year just because he's feeling it, dude. He's on fire. He is no stopping him. He knows when a player knows nobody can stop you, it's over for the league. So he's feeling that right now. So I can definitely see 100%. And I hope it's against them stinking Celtics.
So
I said that just for Jenna.
Yeah, I figured you did. I agree with Al 100%. And if you think about it, he was inches away from doing it. Last game against Cleveland,
Yes,
or a couple games ago against Cleveland.
Mhm.
So in theory, if he makes that shot against Cleveland, which was very makeable, does it again tonight, we're talking about him doing it in 2 out of 3 games.
Yes.
Last night the Pacers game wasn't in question; they destroyed them.
Right.
So absolutely, he's going to do something magical again before this year is over and before the playoffs start. And frankly, that's the other issue. It's we have to maybe Toby, but what other guys do you feel strongly about to take that final shot right now?
You're right,
I would
man.
say Curry if he would actually shoot the ball.
But right now, do you feel Curry?
I feel he can make it. I can feel he would make it, but I'm thinking right now, I don't think he would take it.
Right, you could just sense he doesn't have the confidence to take it.
I don't know what it is either. I don't know if he's still a little injured. I don't know if it's still COVID thing because COVID still lingers in a lot of people, even the athletes. So I don't know, dude. I'm very frustrated. I just want him to shoot the way I assumed that he would when he came in, and I have to do a little research. I'm good with the looking up certain things. I got to see what he was shooting, how many times he was shooting last year. I want to know. I know his 3-point percentage was close to 50 last year. I want to check his stats to see if he's that far away or he was doing the same thing in Dallas. I got to check it.
True. And to my point, I think we're going to have more big moments from Embiid because now he's thriving. He's just the best. And before, like last year, I was very critical on Joel Embiid. I had a lot of negativity to say about Joel Embiid, and I just did. I didn't trust him. I didn't trust Joel Embiid because I just, I knew he wasn't in shape. This year, he's come back in the best shape. He's apparently got like somebody doing his diet for him, and he's coming back looking good, and it's also showing on the court. He could have been. Imagine him being this dominant last year or the years with Butler. Like this is crazy. Just think about that. Just think about if he could have been that dominant when he had teams like Jimmy Butler when they had the whole cast and you're 3 bounces away from being in the the conference final or whatever. So I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done with it. Joel Embiid, my crystal ball tells me Joel Embiid will have more moments like this, and if this can go right, we're going to be looking at one of the best performances of a big man in this era.
Yeah.
In this era, not post Shaq, because Shaq was very dominant, but
in a different way. In a
different way, yes, because he wasn't shooting threes. But
he just got in the paint and bullied you over and slammed it in your face.
And we've seen flashes of JoJo.
That was it.
Yeah,
I know. Well,
and I like it.
JoJo's got a combination of so many of the elite centers. The Dream.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned Shaq. He does the Euro step. So he's got so much talent that it is unbelievable. And I think you almost have to start the Jokic Embiid talk has to start fading away a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not even. Now, I want to say today, what's today's date?
Today is the 3rd, I believe.
March.
All right, so March 3rd at 10:49. I think if we could say, even if we go to second in the East, Embiid should win MVP. But if he misses too many games, it's going to be that's going to hold him back. And the national writers, no matter how more of these games he has, no matter what happens, it's going to be ridiculous things like he didn't play enough games or something else silly. They're going to use it as an excuse. He has to come back in the second half, and he can't be missing. I think he's missed. I think the number is 6 in his first half. He can't miss 6 in the second half to win MVP because they're going to use that as an excuse, no matter how good the Sixers are, to give it to anybody else. Well, not anybody else. It's going to be LeBron.
And who's he missing it against? He missed it against Gobert, right?
Right.
We all thought he was going to miss the game against Sabonis.
Right.
So you can't miss games against star players.
Star bigs.
Because that almost looks like you're avoiding them,
right?
For whatever reason,
right? So and a couple of those was national games too, which wasn't good either,
right? So I'm
because
curious
not everybody's watching the Sixers on the East Coast if they're on the West Coast.
Yeah,
I keep hearing Broussard say the same thing. Well, Embiid keeps missing. I want to see what he's going to say tomorrow morning. I want to see. Oh yeah, he's getting closer. He's getting closer. But in their mind, they're LeBron nationally. So Embiid cannot miss 6. And no shot. No matter, I don't care if he averages 40 and 15 the rest of the season. If he misses 6 games, the national writers, and that's who votes, they're not giving him MVP. And of course we're here. We're going to be on fire. We're going to be tweeting all over, going crazy, but the national writers don't like you missing games. It's just not a good thing because that's what that'll be 12 out of 72. It's 72 this year, right? Or 70?
Yeah.
72.
Right. So that'll be 12 out of 72, and God forbid he gets up to 15 out of 72. That's not going to be good.
Well, if you were a voter today, Al, who are your top 3 candidates right now?
Embiid, LeBron, and believe it or not, because of how they're playing, I would go Harden. And it wasn't Harden before he got to Brooklyn, but he's doing everything for them. And he's making a sacrifice and still doing his thing.
But did you see?
He had almost a 30-point triple-double tonight. Like he's he's being Harden.
But my guy is Steph Curry because look what he's done with that Golden State team.
But they're not winning.
Yeah,
you got to be winning. You got to be winning to get the MVP.
Yeah, but they're not buried right now. They're not
buried. But you normally, if you ever look back in the history of
MVPs, you have to be a playoff team. You have to be. You got to be
probably. I would say you probably in the whole league, you probably got to be a top 5 record. You got to have a top 5 record in the whole league. And Giannis has had it, I think, the last 2 years, the best record in the whole league. And then you got to have points and all that type of stuff. And everybody got to see what you're doing nationally. And you got to, do your thing. So winning is first and foremost. So people talking about even talking about Jokic, and they're close to 500. I'm not. You can't talk about him being in the top, and they're not. They're close to 500. They talking Tatum. Tatum's playing great. Yeah, they're close to 500. It's not even a conversation.
But the other guys have that we talked on Scotty's show, the great duos of the league. Yeah. All the guys we mentioned have great sidekicks. Almost equal sidekicks. Yeah. Steph's got Oubre.
Yeah.
Draymond's playing well, but he's not the second guy. So that's my only point. Is Curry's like doing it himself. I've seen him take games over like my jaw was dropping.
Well, check this out. We're close to the hour mark.
Good point. If he doesn't get it this year, he may not ever win it. That is
true. So Vance made a good point. He's saying if he doesn't get it this year, he probably won't get it. And Crawford is saying that there are too many games in close proximity after the break. That's concerning. Listen,
Yeah,
there's going to be some
second
type of
half, that second half schedule is. I talked about that Sunday. First of all, we got a lot of big boys at the second half of this, and when we come back, and they is not a lot of rest time. Not a lot of rest time.
Well, I'm hoping with, you know, some of the restrictions being lifted and things like that, that hopefully we can kind of learn how to load manage him while he's playing. And
25-minute games.
Yeah,
right.
like you got to get it done in 25 minutes.
The Indiana game, he scored his 26 and sat the whole fourth quarter. A couple games before that, we blew out somebody. He sat probably the last 4 minutes of the third all the way through the fourth. I mean, that's perfect when we got blowouts like that.
In a perfect world, that's how it goes for us. If a perfect world for the Sixers, the best thing is we start the games that we should dominate, we really do dominate. So you can get the rest for the guys, and then also we can start getting some of the reserves some more practice. In the perfect world, that's how it goes, and I'm assuming that's what Doc is kind of aiming for with him being a veteran coach. You know, we're at the 1 hour mark, man. We don't want to go too much longer than that. We're gonna kind of wrap it up from here, man. I appreciate both of you guys coming on. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on, man. And spending time. I know it's a little late because, you know, after the game, we be super hyped up to go and talk about it and get our opinions off. And for all of the fans, guys, please, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit that alert button so you know when we go live. We also post exclusive content on our Twitter pages. You know where that's at. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna let you guys know this one thing. I'm gonna end it on this. I'm gonna end it up with the stuff that production gave me. So until next time, y'all, deuces.
He's got Bogdanovich thinking about a three. There it is. Yes! Wow!